Now, finally, one of the biggest opportunities with the Israel-UAE normalization deal is, of course, for Israelis and Emiratis to travel to and meet with one another's countries and cultures.
אנחנו עובדים עכשיו על לאפשר טיסות ישירות מעל סעודיה בין תל אביב לדובאי ולאבו דאבי. זו טיסה קצרה מאוד של 3 שעות, בערך כמו טיסה לרומא, אבל זה ישנה את התעופה הישראלית ואת הכלכלה הישראלית.
So what do Israelis have to look forwards to once they've landed in the UAE? International relations expert Dr. Yonatan Freeman joins us with the answer. Thanks for being with us.
Shalom, good evening.
All right, so how quickly should Israelis jump on the chance to vacation in Dubai or Abu Dhabi?
Well, I think we have to realize that those sitting in the UAE are really with open arms and are looking to meeting us, not just because they want to learn who Israelis are, but it's really more about what Israelis can give them and how we can assist them to get to the 21st century in all aspects of their life, whether it be agriculture, fighting the desert, water purification, different things that they need. So I think that one of the things that we'll be meeting them is not just about who we are, but what they need to become in order to really sustain themselves long-term wise.
I see. And so has Israel already started addressing, tourism from the UAE, maybe, if they would like to come here?
Well, I think one of the things that we're looking at, and of course we have the corona issue, but in the future when it really is possible, we're looking to having a lot of exchanges with regards to businesses in the UAE. For instance, one of the things that we saw in the agreement that Donald Trump outlined is that they'll be investing a lot in medical industries, things that we're doing right now to try to find a vaccine for the coronavirus, to prepare for any sort of developments with regards to the medical aspects of this fight against the coronavirus. So I think one thing that we're seeing is that the UAE is trusting and giving a lot of importance to a relationship which will benefit not just Israelis, but also themselves.
Wow. All right. So, what about, again, work and study in the Emirates? Will Israelis be able to integrate into academia and other industries in the UAE?
Yes, I think one of the things that we've been seeing over the years in the UAE is that they're trying to really bolster their higher education, the universities, their colleges. And I think if we look at Israel, it's one of the places that we have the higher education that has a lot of patents, different inventions. So I think one thing that the UAE is really looking to do is one, maybe adopt the Israeli model that we have in terms of higher education. And number two, get some of our researchers, our professors to come to the UAE to teach there, and even have UAE students coming to Israel to study. And I think long-term wise, we'll be seeing study abroad in Jerusalem.
Wow. All right. Now, I think my final question for you, one of the most interesting things that we've discovered recently is just that there's a really healthy Jewish community apparently in the UAE. How long have they been there, and what does their life look like?
The main aspect of the Jewish life in the UAE has been really revolving around businessmen coming from Europe, other countries. In the last few years, they have kosher food. They have even received recently permission to import kosher meat from abroad. Much of the meat and different food comes from the United States and Europe. And I think part of the normalization that we're seeing now with Israel might lead to even food products coming into the UAE from Israel. So we already have a community there. There's kosher food there. There's even a Chabad operation there.
Wow.
And add to that the fact that Jewish people are able to walk around with a kippah, with a yarmulke, with no trouble whatsoever. So I think with this development, we're going to see even more Jewish places and communities open up and be less afraid to show themselves.
Well, I can't wait to visit myself. Dr. Freeman, thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Let's take a